Hey guys, Bernard here. Imagine being so good at investing, you become one of the richest people alive, without ever starting a tech company or inventing a flashy new product. How exactly did Warren Buffett build his mind-blowing wealth? And why is his approach so different from every other billionaire you know? If you're thinking Buffett's billions came from some secret high-risk strategy or insider trading, think again. The real secrets behind Warren Buffett's fortune are surprisingly simple, and yet most investors completely overlook them. So what's Buffett's actual secret? Well, it all starts with one simple rule. Never lose money. Sounds obvious, right? But here's the twist. You won't believe how Buffett actually makes this work. You see, Buffett built his fortune using something called value investing. This strategy is not about guessing stock prices or gambling on market trends. Instead, Buffett looks for businesses he can fully understand, companies with solid foundations that are selling for less than they're worth. Sounds easy enough, but how can regular people apply this? Here's the catch. Buffett's not chasing the hottest stocks or trends. He's picking businesses that seem boring, stable, and predictable. Think insurance companies, banks, railroads, stuff that's hardly going viral on social media. So why does this boring strategy actually work better than chasing the next big thing? It all boils down to patience and consistency. Buffett once said that the stock market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. He doesn't care about quick wins. He's in it for the long haul. But here's something even crazier. Buffett made most of his wealth after turning 50. Yes, he became incredibly rich later in life, proving that it's never too late to start investing seriously. But how exactly can the average person invest like Buffett without billions or even thousands to start with? You might think it's impossible, but it's easier than you realize. Buffett himself started investing with a tiny amount of money, just a few $100s he earned from delivering newspapers as a teenager. The key to his early success wasn't the amount of money he had. It was his mindset. Here's another hidden Buffett secret. He avoids debt like the plague. Unlike many wealthy people, Buffett is famously cautious about borrowing money. He knows debt can quickly spiral out of control, destroying your ability to invest wisely. But does that mean Buffett never borrows money at all? Actually, Buffett uses debt, but only when it's incredibly cheap and safe. He treats debt like fire. Useful if handled carefully, dangerous if it gets out of control. He prefers investing with cash, and when he does borrow, it's under conditions so favorable that it's practically free money. This conservative approach allows him to make incredibly smart decisions without worrying about owing millions. Here's something else surprising about Buffett. He spends hours every single day just reading. Newspapers, financial reports, books. Buffett consumes information like it's food. You might be thinking, how does just reading help anyone become a billionaire? The answer is simple. Knowledge is the key to seeing opportunities others miss. Buffett famously spotted an opportunity to invest in Coca-Cola decades ago, not because it was trendy, but because he read extensively about the company's consistent profits, loyal customer base, and global potential. That single decision made him billions. But is reading alone enough to replicate his success? Not exactly. Buffett also practices extreme discipline. He rarely acts on impulse, waiting years sometimes to make the right move. Can you imagine having billions at your fingertips and still patiently waiting for the perfect opportunity? It's this ability to resist temptation that truly separates Buffett from other investors. But there's still a missing piece to Buffett's puzzle, his secret power most investors never talk about. How does he know exactly when and where to invest to maximize his returns even during financial crises? The answer will genuinely shock you, and it's something you can actually replicate yourself to build your wealth faster than you think. You won't believe what happens next. The real key to Buffett's success isn't timing the market perfectly, but rather making consistent, smart choices during times of panic. While everyone else is selling, Buffett is quietly buying. When the markets crash and investors panic, Buffett sees opportunity. He famously says, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." But how can you adopt this strategy practically, especially if you're not sitting on billions? The secret is surprisingly straightforward. Buffett always keeps cash available for exactly these moments. Rather than spending every dollar immediately, he builds up reserves, patiently waiting for the market to provide incredible deals. Then, when prices inevitably drop, Buffett swoops in, buying quality businesses at massive discounts. Think of it like buying your favorite items on sale. Except Buffett does this with multi-billion-dollar companies. But let's be honest, keeping cash on the sidelines is tough, especially when everyone else seems to be getting rich quickly. This is where Buffett's ironclad discipline really shines. He understands human psychology better than most investors, realizing that the hardest part of investing isn't choosing stocks, but controlling your emotions. Buffett famously ignores daily market fluctuations. He doesn't even have a stock ticker in his office, because he knows watching the market too closely can trigger impulsive decisions. This deliberate detachment from short-term noise is crucial to his long-term strategy. How often have you panicked and sold a stock too early, only to see it soar later? Here's another lesser-known aspect of Buffett's wealth. He invests heavily in himself. Warren Buffett once said, "The best investment you can make is in yourself." But what exactly does this mean in practice? Buffett continuously sharpens his mind and skills. Beyond his relentless reading, he's constantly learning from smarter people, seeking advice from experts, and refining his thinking. He understands that wealth building is more mental than financial. So, how can you practically adopt Buffett's self-investment strategy in your own life? Simple. Never stop learning. Take courses, read extensively, attend seminars, and consistently upgrade your knowledge and skills. Buffett believes your ability to earn is directly tied to your ability to learn. But is self-education alone enough to replicate his billion-dollar success? Not entirely. There's another crucial piece to Buffett's wealth puzzle: compounding. Buffett harnessed what Albert Einstein famously called the eighth wonder of the world, the power of compound interest. By reinvesting his profits instead of spending them, Buffett let his money grow exponentially. But how exactly does compounding turn relatively small amounts into billions? Imagine planting a single seed and watching it grow into a giant tree. Over decades, each dollar invested by Buffett produced returns that were reinvested again and again, creating a snowball effect. This is precisely how Buffett built over 90% of his current wealth after the age of 50. But here's something most people miss about compounding. It's not flashy or exciting in the short term. Buffett admits his strategy can be boring to most people. While others chase trends, Buffett sticks to his slow and steady formula. Could you handle investing in such a seemingly boring way? The reality is, successful investing often feels dull. Buffett's genius lies in his patience and discipline, rather than exciting trades or market gambles. He has made incredible returns precisely by avoiding excitement. But what about risk? Does Buffett take big risks behind the scenes? Surprisingly, Buffett is incredibly risk-averse. He prefers investing in what he calls economic moats, companies that dominate their industries with a sustainable competitive advantage. Think of brands like Apple or Coca-Cola, which have loyal customers and predictable profits. By focusing on these secure investments, Buffett drastically reduces his risk. Still, there's one hidden truth about Buffett's approach that often shocks investors. He's not just conservative, he's also ruthlessly decisive. When Buffett spots an extraordinary opportunity, he acts swiftly and boldly, often investing billions in a single transaction. So how can you develop Buffett-like decisiveness without the billions at hand? The key lies in thorough preparation. Buffett spends hours studying companies until he deeply understands them. By the time an opportunity arises, he's ready to act immediately, confidently, and without hesitation. Preparation eliminates fear and uncertainty, allowing decisive action. But here's the most important thing: Buffett doesn't chase money. He follows his passion for investing itself. He genuinely loves analyzing businesses and making wise decisions. Could this passion actually be the secret behind Buffett's seemingly endless motivation and success? Absolutely. Buffett often advises young investors to pursue what genuinely interests them, not just what makes the most money. Because if you enjoy what you do, you'll naturally become better at it, leading to greater success. Buffett's secret is blending his passion with relentless consistency. Yet even after uncovering Buffett's investing secrets, there remains one final question. Can ordinary investors truly replicate his strategies without his wealth and resources? The answer might surprise you, and it's simpler than you'd ever imagine.